Welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be doing some tests. We have different kinds of screws here, some lag screws, and we'll test those against some of the nails that I've used in this building, and we'll see which one holds better. And yeah, we'll test them and see which ones break first, and we'll see what we come up with. We have a 6-inch eye bolt through this piece of poplar 2x6 here, hooked onto a come along. Come along goes to a scales. I don't know if the scales goes high enough or not, but we're going to find out. And then over here we have a loop where we'll put our piece of wood through. Then we'll fasten it down and pull on it and see what it takes to pull it loose. So first we're going to start off with some 6-inch nails. There we go. Okay, we'll turn our scales on. There again, I don't know if this scales will hold this much weight or not. But let's start pulling on it and find out. Yeah, our scales isn't going to work. So we know at least they pull more than the scales will hold. I'm going to lay a jacket across this just in case something busts. Okay, let's keep it cranking. That is singing tight. I'm getting a little nervous to be standing close to this thing. Okay, we're not going to break that. It's not showing any signs of coming loose, but we're about to break our 2x6, it looks like. This is a 2-ton come along. Yeah, it's ready for 2 tons, and it's pretty much all I can do to pull it. So let's loosen that one. Let me see if I can beat the nails up. Just for fun, let's pull on it now and see what it does. I'm gonna get a piece of plywood to set up here. It's making me nervous. There, that feels a little safer. These are 5-inch nails. Let's nail it down with 5-inch nails. That's pulling hard. Well, the block still hasn't come up at all. Let's keep going and see if it breaks. There again, our nails stayed in. Block flew to pieces. There's our second block. Curious how these things will perform. This is a Timber Pro 4.5 inch structural screw. These have a big pan head on them. Get those in tight. Let's put our jacket on here again. Try to keep things from flying around too much. It's pulling pretty hard. We're going to be able to break them. The heads are pulling down into the wood a little bit. Starting to lift off here just a little bit. It's interesting. Let's keep on cranking and see what it does. Let's give it one more pull, see if we can bust them. Okay. Our 2x is starting to bow up pretty good there. We'll say we're not going to bust those. Well, it bent them for sure, but they didn't break. Well, I don't know if that's going to come out of there. It's so bent. This is another structural screw. Instead of a pan head, it has a hex head on it. Got them in there good and tight. Put our jacket back on here. Yeah, looks like we have a problem here. Let's stop before we damage our strap. Looks like one of them sheared off or something. Let's take a look at it, see what it did. It pulled out that easy. That's not good at all. We have a bent one and a thing just bent right over. That didn't hold. That's kind of not what I expected. Yeah, it just, let me show you the notch it made. Just made a big old gouge. Threads pulled right out. Here's some lag bolts. Just their old traditional style lag bolts. See how they do. Okay. Got them in there good and tight. I hear it creaking. Ooh. Sounds like one of them snapped or bent. Yep, bent it off. Okay, so those, one of them pulled out, one of them didn't pull out. For this test, we're going to be seeing how hard it is to pull these fasteners out. We have a 5-inch nail through the 2-inch poplar. We have a hammer on top of it, so that'll give us a lot of leverage. And we'll see how many pounds of force it takes if our scale goes high enough here. There were 50 pounds. Okay, that was right at 50 pounds of force on top of the hammer to get that nail started. Now let's try one of these screws. Yeah, there's 48 pounds. Well, that one held about 48 pounds. And as soon as it started coming, it lost all of its strength. The next test we're going to do is see which one of these is actually the toughest. Screws are probably the hardest, but I'm guessing the nails are actually tougher. Like on a screw, I would imagine if we bent it to the side, like that, and like that, it pops right off. So they don't have much strength that way. These nails here have actually been bent a few times already, but let's bend them anyway just to see what happens. Bend it to the side. That one's actually twisting in there. Let's get a good, there we go. They were bending it back and forth. See how many times we can bend it before it breaks. That one finally broke. So it appears the nails have a lot more strength after bending than the screws do. See if this one breaks off. How many times we have to bend it. So we can just keep going back and forth with it. It'll eventually break. But they hold their strength a lot better. The screw is a lot more brittle than the nails are. These nails are actually more brittle than some are. I'll go ahead and break these off too. Just get a little easier. Ooh, I think it's getting hot. Let's try a bigger hammer. There we go. Got that one out. Trying to think of any more tests we could do with them. Let's take a 6-inch nail and drive it in. Just got a bit of an angle. We'll take it into where it's about to come through. There, we're just poking through. Let's pull on that and see how much force we can get. Before we start bending the nail. They're starting to bend. We're at, there's 170 pounds. Yeah, we got, basically it took 170 pounds to bend that nail. Let's try one of these screws. Try to go at the same angle. See what this does. There's 112 pounds. Oh, it's definitely moving already. 126. 130. That's it. So that bent a whole lot quicker than the nail did. And yeah, I know the screw is smaller diameter, but it's supposed to be stronger, technically. So what do we learn from all these tests? Basically, the first thing we learned, 2 6-inch ring shank nails driven through a 2x4 into a 2x6 will hold more than a 2-ton come along can pull. Drop down to a 5-inch nail, and it's still really, really strong. We did the same test with these screws. And here we had one screw held up, one screw pulled out. So there we have a failure there. With the panhead screws, the one bent severely. The other one bent even worse, and we couldn't get it out. We had to use a flat bar to break the screw off. Was that talking about breaking the screws off? These screws, they're a lot harder metal, and they'll break a lot quicker. When you bend them, they lose their strength very fast. A nail, you can bend it numerous times, and it keeps its strength. We did some tests. We were pulling straight up on them with a hammer. The nail took a decent amount of force to pull it out, and it kept using that much force until the nail was almost out. The screw we pulled out took about the same force, but as soon as it moved a little bit, it lost all the gripping power that it had. It just came right out, no problem. So, are nails better than screws? Or screws better than nails? When you look at the fact that this one costs over $1, this one costs a fraction of $1. I would say on average, screws are about 3 times the price of nails. And for me, they're not worth the money. They have their place. Sometimes you need a screw to pull something together, something like that. I understand that. But for regular construction, a good old-fashioned nail works just fine. They've been around for hundreds of years. Nails built this country, and I don't see them being replaced by screws anytime soon. So there you have it. That's my opinion on it. I know not everybody agrees with me, but that's okay. If you have any real world comparisons, you can put them in the comments below, and we can discuss them down there. So here we have, yeah, this one bent. This one bent inside here. These are the traditional lag bolts. They both bent pretty bad. So from all the testing that I've done, you put a 6-inch nail in it, it ain't going nowhere. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.